Hello my friends, the day after plus 24 we are at Ciganlija, the river island, the jewel of Belgrade according to my opinion. And generally one of the main reasons why I didn't leave Serbia, Belgrade, even at this difficult time. I mean, difficult times are here always, more or less. But I mean, for me personally, they were more difficult back some 20 years ago. I was talking in my previous video about Čele Kula and the Serbian hero Stevan Sinđelić, who shot the barrel with the gunpowder and killed all his soldiers and a lot of Ottomans when they were attacking his position and his trench. And then the Ottomans have made a tower out of the skulls of Serbian soldiers, just as this is a unique monument worldwide. I mean, just as a mean of practically prevention of such uprisings from happening, because this happened during the first Serbian uprising against the Ottomans back in 1908 was the start of this uprising, but this event happened not in 1808, and this event happened in 1809 at Čegar. So this is the story about Čele Kula. And now when we are talking about because this event happened practically on today's date, this battle at Čegar. Let me see the maneuver, what is it all about. One statement of Donald Trump actually triggered my attention. Today he said, because there were preparations for the G7 summit of most developed and most influential countries. And what Trump said, he said, but I don't see the purpose of this meeting anymore in this form, because it's obsolete. The G7, they are not anymore the strongest and most influential countries. Because we are missing some very important countries in this G7, and he mentioned explicitly Russia, India, South Korea, and what was the fourth? I cannot remember right now. And Donald Trump, Australia, yes, Australia. Donald Trump, no matter his unconventional and here, sorry, I had some issues with the ticket machine. Unconventional political, I mean, stance essentially. This I fully subscribe to this one, because the G7, I mean, generally the importance or the gravity of the world economy and power practically is shifting much more to the east, and now leaving out all these countries from this kind of important group of countries is, I mean, but for instance, Italy is still there. Okay, I mean, I have full respect for Italy, but now comparing Russia and Italy and even the whole continent of Australia, and not to mention India, but even South Korea, I mean, is much more powerful, according to my opinion. I mean, exporting much more, etc. So I fully subscribe. And now when talking about South Korea, this is one of my favorite, actually lately it's my most favorite country. over the past 3 years, I'm more, even more. I'm kind of have started studying a bit this country, and the more I read about it, the more I'm, how to say, astonished by this, by the country and the people there. And I keep now finding out some interesting elements. For instance, there was one of their national heroes from the war with Japan that was back in the 16th century, I mean the end of 16th century. He practically, according to my opinion, should be declared as the most successful naval commander in the history, because based on some records, he had 23 battles, I mean naval battles, all of them with Japanese, and he never lost a battle. And moreover, it's not only that he never lost a battle, he never lost any single ship, which I found it, I mean, practically fantastic. I mean, because in some of the battles, I mean, there was mentioning of one battle, he was outnumbered 10 times. So he was fighting with 13 ships against the Japanese 133. And again, I mean, he made a victory, and not only a victory, he didn't lose any of his ships. So I don't know, I mean, everybody was telling about the Admiral Nelson and his genius, as a genius commander, I mean naval, but I don't know, this is, I believe, not even comparable to this guy. Yeah, and there are many other, I mean, this country relatively small in size and in number of people compared to the two neighbors, namely Japan and China, managed to survive all these centuries, whereby both of the neighbors at some points of their history were quite aggressive. Throughout the history, mostly it was Japan, but also in some periods it was as well China. But not even to mention the Korean War, I mean, that ended in, if I'm not mistaken, 1954. And back then, the country, I mean, the war was such that the country was literally converted to ash and ruins. So, and they managed to recover, and not only did they manage to recover, they now, in many aspects, are technologically the most superior country worldwide, practically. Just to mention Samsung, LG, some of these guys are driving idiotically. But then the car producers, Hyundai, Kia, I was practically monitoring their progress for the last 20 years, essentially, especially with Kia and also Hyundai. And back then, the quality of their cars was maybe only half of the quality of the, let's say, the ones from the Western world. But they progressed steadily and rapidly. And nowadays Hyundai is, I mean, as far as some technological aspects are concerned, quite superior. I mean, especially in some of the classes that they focus on mostly. Kia as well. I mean, Kia is maybe not so much known here. It's much more spread in the eastern part of the world, also Australia, etc. But they also have some producers that maybe most people did not hear of. Even in some in the segments of food industry, but also, for instance, I don't know how many of you know that they have this fantastic producer of massage beds. And this is not only a massage, this is much more than purely a massage. I mean, The company is called Seragen, and I have one of their beds. And trust me, what this bed does after the training, for instance, and especially me having problems with my back, it's fantastic. This is a nice scenery. The train coming. Seragen, definitely. These beds are not cheap, but trust me, they are worth the money, definitely. They are made, they do, practically they have 4 functions. Massage, the acupressor, how do you say, warming, and then radiating practically some, because the elements are made of jade. Practically the balls that are going up and down and down your spine. So definitely I fully recommend. Then there are some producers of lately, the cosmetics industry is so popular. The one from Korea, they have practically invented these facial sheet masks, and they are the #1 in the world with this regard. But also in some other segments, such as health industry, not health industry as such, but industry as well, but healthy food and drinks. They are quite known for making some drinks made of aloe vera, and one of their companies was the first in the world that practically patented such drink. It's not the aloe concentrate as people know, but these are juices based on aloe vera with depending now on the content, it could vary from 8% of aloe content up to 30, and even in some cases more than 30%. And these things is now spreading all over the world. As a fancy drink, essentially. Not only fancy, but fancy and healthy. And there are much more. Industries where they are quite superior. I don't know all of them, but and then I definitely wish to visit the country. But when I was reading about the war actually in Korea, where practically, I don't know, the Americans did not, how to say, it was essentially the war between the US and China. Okay, with participation of course of the North and South Koreans, but this is essentially one, I don't know how to say, it's one nation in essence. And what the foreign powers can do, they managed to influence some local politicians, I guess. It's happened probably the similar way as it happened in ex-Yugoslavia. There were some interest of the Chinese in one part, North Korea, and of course the Western world that didn't want the whole Korea to be under Chinese influence. Chinese communists, you name it, and Russian, of course, and then hence this fight, and so many people got killed because of somebody didn't wish for the country to be under the influence of some other powers, etc., etc. But the same story happened in ex-Yugoslavia and in so many other countries. Vietnam as well, etc. The politics of great powers is, I don't know, I don't have very influence of great powers. I mean, many evils were caused by these influences. But that's it. I mean, sometimes it's quite difficult to resist from that interests. Yeah. But anyhow, I mean, Korea. I mean, this similar thing even happened in Greece. I don't know how many of you know, but Western countries, especially the US, they were afraid of the Greece becoming a communist country at the end of the Second World War, and also the Brits. So they exercised a lot of influence, and there was practically a civil war in Greece after the Second World War because of this fear of them, that Greece. And then, okay, honestly speaking, then the US played a vital role in recovering the economies in both cases. I mean, in the case of South Korea and Greece, because they just wanted to show to the other, let's say, to the others, that this can be successful project based on the capitalistic society, etc., etc. And they made it, I have to say, in both. Okay, in the case of South Korea, probably because of the discipline and generally the mentality of the people, the project was even more successful than in Greece. But also in Greece, considering the fact that this country was quite an agricultural country prior to the Second World War. Okay, it's not that they now have some special industries that they focus much on export, but at least, okay, they have quite developed tourism, they have shipping industry, quite well developed, actually one of the most powerful in the world. However, the Koreans, they did different development paths. They were developing specific industries, and not only to supplement imports, but when they were practically engineering their industries, they immediately were focusing on export, practically based economy, and not, because this is where Yugoslavia probably made the mistake. We were mostly focusing our industries in supplementing imports and not so much in trying to export. And the Korea, being an Asian tiger, I mean, they did it differently, and obviously their model was much more successful. Okay, that much for now, I would say. Thanks for watching. Talk to you soon again. Bye bye.